When we're practicing all of his cues inside, we want to make sure that we're adding challenges and distractions so that when we take him into more distracting environments, he's got these levels in between to prepare. Inside's pretty easy, inside with no distractions and not much expectations for how long he stays in a certain spot, how far he is. It's pretty simple. So if he does these things really well inside, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to go and he's going to do them in the middle of a busy park or out camping or when we're far away from him or when there's a knock on the door. So we want to make sure that when we practice, we're setting up these little scenarios so that we can prepare him for the bigger challenges. It can be pretty simple to add distractions. Things like walking away from him, walking in a circle around him, offering food, but he's supposed to be staying, knocking on the door, squatting down, petting him, and then standing back up. It's going to be all good challenges. Along with this, we can think of other things that are challenging for dogs when they're staying. The first one we just talked about is those distractions, right? Squatting down, petting him, throwing treats around. You can also add duration to the list of challenges. So laying down and staying for a minute isn't that hard. Laying down and staying for 5 minutes while you're being ignored, and that's a lot harder. So if we're always just asking for really short little stays, we shouldn't be surprised when we ask for a stay or we need the dog to be there longer and they struggle with it, right? So it's good to have specific times during the day where you practice downs or sits and then head over to your chair, read a book, have him close to you so you can correct and reset him easily, but set a timer for 5 minutes. If he pops up, nope, get him back down. Nope, get him back down. And pay attention to how long he's able to stay for, because if he only makes it for a minute, we don't want to ask him to do it again for 2 minutes, right? He only makes it for a minute and he pops up. I'm going to tell him, nope, get him back down again. And then I might reward him at the 45-second mark or let him get up at the 45-second mark and then reset and try to build those stays, that duration of those stays. It's a good thing to practice. The other thing that is challenging for a lot of dogs is when you're farther away from them. So if he's over here or I'm not looking at him and I ask him to down, he probably isn't going to because he hasn't had that many repetitions of doing it from farther away, right? We practice mostly up close. That's something that'll come with time if we work on it. But it's good to understand, what your expectations should be and of what you practiced. So if you know you're in a new place, that's going to add a lot of distractions. We might need to be closer to him. Maybe you should expect him to not stay as long. If we're expecting him to stay for a very long time, it shouldn't be when there's a bunch of stuff going on in the house. It's going to be hard for him. We need to make sure we're practicing all of these things individually and then slowly adding them all together and recognizing what may be particularly challenging for him in a certain situation and how we can compensate in a different way.